Hey, Laura J. here at the end of the day, March 4th, after our 8th Peaceful Inner Warriors United Lawfully Organized Summit, where Jacquie Phoenix came and shared a lot of great perspectives, and others also contributed great insights too, and great conversation was had, which is what this needs to be. We need to open the floor to have conscious conversation of a alternative and higher kind. We need to actually understand it's not just that dissent is on, it's that ascent is on as well, because we are actually sovereign beings who have to understand that sovereign means we have a king and queen on the inside, in the soul throne of our inner kingdom, who are on the throne. Because if we don't have the king inside, then we can say there is one outside that we will obey, or a queen, the monarch, whichever it is that we're said to put our power into. But instead I say, hey, look, guys, seriously, real eyes, what is happening now? It's genocide. We've literally got more than half the list of a 10 steps to genocide checklist, and my God, guys, I said that at 1:33, and anyone that knows me knows that I love the signs, symbols, and omens the universe sends as the language the alchemist talked about when Paulo Coelho wrote about that and I read it, because I do that on Thursdays at 7. And this week we continued on with Saint Germain on alchemy, and I marked a page that I found afterwards that's on Jesus Christ and Saint Germain, way showers of the Aquarian age. So I'll be reading that tomorrow. And I will be getting this up tonight as I finish editing the summit as well. And we'll get that up. And then just say the Ascended Masters, Jesus Christ and Saint Germain, passing the torch of the Christ consciousness and the I am that I am for the Piscean and Aquarian dispensations, stand in the long history of Earth and our evolutions as great deliverers of the nations by freedom's fire, and salvation through the resurrection of the soul. The path of initiation that leads to the soul's reunion with the I Am presence, the ascension, through the mediator, the Christ self, the open door to divine reality which no man can shut, was exemplified in Jesus, the Piscean wayshower. The Savior's fiery baptism of the Holy Ghost is revealed through Aquarian Master Saint Germain as he delivers to the people of God the dispensation of the seventh age and the seventh ray, the Comforter's all-forgiving violet flame in its application in the balancing of personal and planetary karma through the science of the spoken word. The sacred word becomes the sword that severs us from the not-now moments of the past, and we must now call on Archangel Michael to come in with his blazing blue sword of forgiveness, to ultimately cut us free from all that binds me and we to the not now moments of the past or future that we have no power over except for our ability to choose in the ever-present now moment. We must realize that we are so much more than what we ever thought, and when we say I stand before you just as maybe one, but before me comes, and with me, all the 10,000 who came before me too. Because it's in our DNA, and our DNA says so much. You're worth your weight in gold is literally an expression about the fact you came here fully provided for, my friends, and it's based on your karma. And right now we have a chance to actually transmute more of our karma. So whether I'm one of the way showers or whether I just happen to say, hey, look, I've devoted myself to understanding that descent and ascent simultaneously is how we lift the resentment and shift ourselves onto the positively qualified perspective instead. And in the cosmic clock, Michael Seegers teaches about the fact that literally that is fully scientifically proven and laid out for us if only we know where to find that. It's been kept from the masses for a long time because sacred information has power to it. So we have lost our relationship with the sacred and instead become scared. And each of us have 4 survival archetypes at the foundation of all of our decision making. And we have to understand that they are either in their shadow or light aspects, which are scared, or in their sacred sides. And those 4 are the victim, child, rescuer, persecutor, punisher. No, it's the victim, child, saboteur, and prostitute are the 4. I started to rhyme off the victim triangle that has the victim at the bottom looking up at the rescuer to save them from a punisher who's out to get them and wants to just keep them beat down so that they never have a chance to rise to their full capacity. And so these lies then become the obvious to everyone else, oblivious truths that masquerade as good when they are not. And that is why the devil comes giving everything, the devil comes offering everything that we've ever wanted. We just have to trade our cells to the dark side and buy into something we know goes against our divine nature. That's enough for today. I will say that tomorrow is another day, and I will finish reading these pages on the way showers of the Aquarian age and power defined, plus the Maltese cross, a symbol of God-controlled power. So this is what we're going to dig into tomorrow, simply because it is a time to step up higher. And sure, it's verging into book 3, a trilogy on the threefold flame of life. And Saint Germain wrote that chapter, and then there is the threefold flame, which is actually meant to be blue, yellow, and pink for wisdom, power, and love. The eagle is the symbol for vision, and with it being in the circle, it shows that the cycle of life is cyclical, exactly that. So, we will begin to read an interesting piece about power, read and started addressed to gracious men and women. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these 3, but of the greatest of these is charity. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these 3, but the greatest of these is charity. So, persistency is recognized as a quality which eventuates in the manifestation of some aspect of perfection. The courage which men externalize by holding fast to a specific momentum in the face of every attempt to prevent its manifestation is a thing of beauty, a joy to every heart, and most wondrous to behold. The very thought of power in itself brings delight to the hearts of men. The power of the universe depicted in the heavens tells men of that seemingly far-off aspect of God for which their souls hunger, but onto which it appears impossible to draw nigh. Hope, together with the element of faith, has enabled men to release some degree of power into their worlds and to subject it to their control. It is time for us to understand that we will finish reading Saint Germain on alchemy. Again, we will begin at chapter 7 where we left off and read methods of transfer. And in the meantime, we'll start reading the chapter on power as well, because we're going to read Jesus Christ and Saint Germain as way showers of the Aquarian age, which is just so exciting, and I say it at 9:55 as the screen goes dark. So that's a wrap for tonight, and I hope that you will come and play again the next time I go live. If you're not already subscribed, then please make sure you do. Laura J.E. Hamilton is the crew where you can band together with other peaceful inner warriors who want to be united with those who are willing to take a stand and know what you stand for, because that's ultimately what's going to be the measurement of our soul at the end of our life, when we have to turn in the avatar that is our body and say, okay, I did it this way, and then report on the results and how our soul evolved, which is what we've all come here for. And with that in mind, how can we do that more consciously? And it's by surrounding yourself and connecting yourself to people who are further down the path. And what I can tell you is that while I have shamelessly and fully given freely of all that I have acquired over the years for no reason other than the fact I believe and always have that to whomever much is given, much is required, and I believe I've been given a lot of opportunities. And so I have really just chose to bless others, and I was also not fully wanting to step into my full power because I didn't believe in the system. But how did that serve me? And how did it serve the world? Because I played small for far too long. So here I go, stepping out of my comfort zone to say no more. Am I willing to play small for the sake of not having to pay a bigger tax bill, which I know my mentor Paul Martinelli often would say that before he became a very wealthy man, he was very resentful of not wanting to make it into the next tax bracket because of how it would increase his deductions, and he didn't want to give the government more. And then he realized how he was punishing himself in order to punish the government vicariously through a lower tax payment. But ultimately, what he realized is that if he just was able to get himself into a more abundant state and to stop being so resentful and going into a state of lack and limitation, then he would actually be able to acquire far more than what he would have to pay despite having increased the range. So all of this is to say that perspective is everything, and also we have to learn to play with what we've got as we go, to rift and let the lot be okay, and to say, hey, you know, it wasn't perfect, but we got there anyway, and it will be okay for another day. So here we go, 11:10. My number is a 10 because I was born on the 10th day of the 10th month, which is a double one, which is new beginnings. And 11 is very significant and symbolic. And if we understand the power of numbers and the power of symbols, then we can really start to truly understand the language of the universe, which The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho does describe so beautifully in a story of a shepherd boy chasing his dreams. So it is a fable, and I highly recommend it, which is why I read it, and why I will be continuing on, as mentioned, with the Saint Germain on Alchemy Formulas for Self-Transformation text, and that tomorrow I'm actually going to come to you and read the Jesus and Saint Germain way showers of the Aquarian age that we are now in. I say it at 11:11 p.m. So, whoa. Here we go. Let's do this, my friends. It is true that we are at a turning point, time in history, and so we must come together and unite in the fight for what is right. It's true. I say to you, goodbye for now. Laura J, namaste, namago.